Welcome back to a garden update. If you're new here, I'm Kathryn. I'm the Aerogarden Homesteader, and I do updates on how my garden is doing. And today we have flowers forming on the tomato plants. These are a Roma. I think all of these are Roma, so they should be a bush style. They're doing really well, actually. The broccoli has gone to seed, so I guess I'll be collecting broccoli seeds as well as mustard seeds. And wait till you see it. The cilantro I started, and I'll show you how I started that. It is doing amazing. I did a new technique that I'm going to show you guys how I did it, and it works really well for cilantro, which can be a really hard seed to start. So my pepper plants are still pretty small, but they're looking good and healthy. I got weeds randomly growing, and the nasturtiums are doing awesome. I've got different colors, which is really cool. Let me see, the cabbage is getting eaten by something, oddly enough. And then more tomatoes. Let me see, the parsley's doing really well. The basil has perked up, so it has gotten over its transplant shock. The nasturtiums, this one's a little bit small, this tomato plant, but it's looking good. The Thai basil went to seed, which is fine. That's kind of, I didn't really put it in to use it, I just put it in to look pretty and help deter bugs and things. Yeah, everything's... So this is one of the cabbages. You can see that there's like a little bit of bug damage to the leaves, which is kind of annoying, but yes, it's to be expected. Oh, I did start some potatoes. I got these big pots here in the garden, and there's a big one over there. I put some potatoes in that I had sprouting in my fridge, so I used them. Pepper plants are, these are the ones we transplanted from the Aerogarden. They're looking pretty good. I feel like they're finally starting to come into their own. Oh, are those flowers? Oh yeah, look at that. We got some little flowers forming in there. That's awesome. And I literally just put some cucumber in. I had to start my cucumber a little late because the first set I put in didn't take. So I had to start again. But it's, it's fine. These are the pumpkin pie pumpkins. Strawberries are doing awesome. I had to move the little greenhouse, so now it's in the way. I recovered the peas. So, yeah, something was eating them. But they are looking pretty good. So hopefully I can get some stuff out of it. And unfortunately the wind blew this over the sprinkler head, so it's not sprinkling very well. We ended up having to raise up the sprinkler head just to help it get where it needed to go. So we'll see. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, the tomato plants along here are doing really well. This is another basil. I think this is not a Genovese basil, I don't think. It's got different shaped leaves, so it must be a different kind. And of course the leek starting to go to seed, so that might be a case of pulling it out and just cleaning up this part of the garden. But I got lots of tomatoes along here. Lots of tomatoes. Oh my goodness. Lots of weeds, lots of seeds, lots of peas. It's awesome. So yeah, the raised beds are doing really well. And oh, the basil, I finally took that down. So keep an eye out for a pesto video. I am finally getting to the pesto. And hopefully we will have some strawberries soon. There we go, we got some strawberries forming. These are the white ones, so I'll show you how those look. But yeah, so I got pesto coming out soon. I've got cilantro I need to show you. And what else? These are the ones that were in this raised bed. They seem like they're doing pretty good. Maybe they weren't cabbage. So it's a brassica of some sort, but I'm not 100% sure which one. Could be cauliflower, could be broccoli. Thought it was cabbage, but it's not growing like cabbage is, so it's got to be something else. Wow, look at the dill. It is like, look how big it is down there. Jeez. Those are more sugar pie pumpkins. So everything is doing really well. I am going to cut this short here. I will show you how the cilantro and basically the summer garden. I'm going to show you how the indoor summer garden is doing in the Aerogardens, because that is just getting started. I have to clean out the farm, but it will hopefully get going soon. Yeah, see, there's my cabbage. It's getting eaten by something. That's a shame. Garlic is doing okay, although it still has yellow tips. So I don't know if it's missing something. And then, just to show you the raised beds, the chamomile is doing awesome. The mint is doing awesome. The cat mint is doing awesome. Oh, it's flowering. Yeah, I should probably start harvesting some of that. The mint over here is doing awesome. So are the flowers in the back, the calendula. Yeah, oh my goodness, mint everywhere. So this one's getting a decent amount of water. This one's getting okay amount of water. And this one's kind of getting a little skimped on the water, but everything seems like it's doing good. It's getting closer to flowering. So that's the outdoor garden with our flowering sage. Now onto the indoor garden. I'm going to go through and get some seeds chosen for my summer garden. I have some sponges, I have some baskets, I have a bucket with a little bit of water in it. I am actually going to be using a slightly different germination technique this time. I tried this on cilantro and it works great on cilantro. So I will be trying this with a few other seeds to see how well it works in that, with those as well. So I have very poor organization right now because I went through earlier in the spring and pulled out a bunch of seeds that I have not put back yet. So I don't know what I'm going to be able to find in here, but let me see. I don't know if I want to do, that might be fun to do again, but I do have broccoli in the garden, so I might save the asperbrock for the winter. I think the rest of this is just tubers and empty. Okay. So I want to get some lettuce going. The red salad bowl works really well for me, so I will definitely do that. Actually, the green salad bowl works well, so I should do some salad bowl. I did get this one. It's a prize head. I might give that one a try. Basically, every time I see some fun lettuce seeds, I pick them up. Butter Crunch did well. I have not done Nevada yet. That one's a new one as well. Probably don't want to start too many because I can only eat so much lettuce. I do want to do some succession plantings, so it doesn't matter which ones I get going now. I can start the rest later. Now these were some that were just sitting on top. Edamame. I do want to do some edamame. I was actually thinking of doing it in one of the farms to just have the edamame take over the whole thing. Now, I have not been able to get these to start in the ground. They just seem to rot before they actually germinate. I don't know. I think they're too wet. So I'm going to do it again. And I did buy some, I actually bought some soybeans from the bulk bins because I'm kind of hoping they will sprout. But I need to soak them. I think I need to soak them overnight in order to get them to work. But anyways, going to do those for sure. And I'm going to see if I can find some tomatoes and peppers. And I might actually go through and do some, oh, indigo rose cherry tomato. That one sounds really good. I might see if I can find some of the small determinate ones. Let me see. This one does not say if it's determinate. You know, if you're going to do tomatoes, you should probably have that written on your package somewhere. It does not say pots. Okay, well, it says I need to support the plant, so that might not be a good option. We'll see. What does this one say? And this one kind of says the same thing too. So these might be better off out in the garden, but I might take my chances on them over the winter because I do have a farm. But I want something that's a little smaller. Let's see, is this one... Continuously support the plant for a successful harvest. Okay. Probably not a good idea either. Okay, I definitely want to do some bell peppers. So I don't know if I'm going to grab it from this one or... Those ones are great. The mini bell peppers, they are great in an Aerogarden. But I have a farm, so I might want to try something a little bit bigger. Let me see what I have, because otherwise I will just go with that pepper mix. Oh, definitely cilantro. Let's see, do I have one that's already open? That would be the better way to go. I do not. We'll go with the oldest ones. We buy lots of cilantro seeds because we eat lots of cilantro. Okay, let me see. What else do we have? I think the rest of these are strawberries and flowers and melons. Okay, so I'm going to go back to that pepper mix and I'm going to grab some out of here. Definitely that. Alright, and let's see what else we have. I think the rest of these are cucumbers and beans. I did find this one, Lolo Biondo. Lolo Biondo. Bionda. I did find this lettuce. I bought it to give it a try. I will add it to the pile in the front here, and then on my next succession planting, I will do those 3, because I think those will be fun. So really what I need to do is find some cherry tomato seeds, which I think I have in this pile here. So let me see. That was from, not the one. This is an indeterminate. What's this? Okay, so these are big cherry tomatoes. So I'm going to pick a couple of seeds off. This is how I save my seeds. I literally stick them to a paper towel and let them dry out, and then I just pull them off. Yeah, it takes a little bit of the paper towel, but it's fine. Okay, I got 2 of those. So these are supposed to be big cherry tomatoes, but it's a small plant. So we'll go with those. I don't know how I'm going to label all these, but let's figure this out. So the trick is, you're going to take your sponges and you're going to soak them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me see, I'm going to do 2 tomatoes and 2 peppers. So I need 4 of those, and then I have, how much? So I need 4, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then cilantro, I will probably do 4 cilantro, and those will go into a harvest. So that's that. These are all my sponges. Let me track down a harvest. Okay, I have a harvest. I will do the cilantro first because I think it might be slightly easier. Actually, I don't need the whole harvest. I just need the base. There we go. And I store the plug in there, so I probably want to get that out. Let's see how those are doing. So, just so you can see, just got a little bit of water in here. Just going to soak them. I want them to be really wet. Really, really wet. So I'm going to give them a gentle squeeze. There we go. Okay, so I need 4 for my cilantro. Okay, so I gently squeezed out a little bit of the excess water so I'm not dripping water everywhere. Let me dry my hand. Wet hand and dry seeds, not a good combination. Okay, let's get some baskets. Okay, there we go. Okay, and some seeds. Okay, so I don't know if you know this, but each cilantro seed will do 2 plants. So if you kind of gently crack the seed, you can split it, and sometimes it makes germination a little easier. Oh, that one's really tough. Okay, but anyways, I'm going to take 3 seeds, and I'm going to put it in each one. Try to give it a little crack, but maybe I'll do 4. I don't know how good germination is. So try to give it a little crack, and then I'm going to jam them in there as deep as I can. So I don't know if you can see, probably not, how deep that is. And I'm going to put that in there. Apparently I dropped a seed. Okay, so since my hands are getting wet, I'm going to actually portion these out into little piles of 4. That way I can put the rest of them back and not worry about either dropping them everywhere, which would be a disaster, or getting them wet, which would also not be a good thing. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I got one here that split, so I'm going to put that in. Yeah, you can see if it's split right down the middle there. So that needs to, boy, that's not a very deep hole. Okay, so that's 1. Put 3 more in that are not cracking. Okay, well, there we go. Shove those in there a little bit deeper. And in the basket. Lather, rinse, repeat. Cilantro is one of those plants that I don't mind putting a bunch in. It's kind of the same with some of the other smaller herbs. They seem to do well bunched, but most plants don't seem to do very well bunched together. Okay, well that's that. Put that in there. Okay, let me get some humidity domes on. Okay, this is literally it. This is the trick. So, no water. The water that is currently in the basket is what is going to help these germinate. So I will keep this all sealed up the way it is, and I will be checking back on this every once in a while to see how they're germinating. But this has been the trick. There's no paper towel, there's no rotting seeds. This has worked in the past. So I'm trying it again, and I'm bringing you along this time. I'm literally going to just set this on the harvest. The harvest is not plugged in, the pump is not plugged in, nothing. As soon as I see germination, I will give it a couple more days, but I'll have the light on at that point. So as soon as I see germination, I will turn the light on. I'll give it a couple more days for the rest of them to catch up, then I will add water. And I will take you along for this. But this has been a cool trick. So I am also going to try that with the edamame, because I want to see if that will work. If it makes the seeds less likely to spoil. Okay, so I'm done with this one. I'm going to put this one away temporarily. And then I will try to reorganize and refile everything properly. So let's get 4 sponges going with the peppers and the tomatoes. Yeah, I might be able to do those in a harvest until I can move them over to a farm. So my hope is that I will be able to get the farm cleaned up and running by the time these are big enough to need to be in the farm. So the problem is I have the chickens upstairs still, and they are so dusty. It isn't even funny. It doesn't matter what we do. We've just got dust everywhere. So I want to clean my farms before I go and put food stuff in it. So let me get 4 more sponges. Give them a gentle squeeze. Dry my hand. Okay, let's get these going. I'm going to do the exact same thing I did with the cilantro. So I might zip through this a little quickly, but just so you know, and for my future references, I am going to put the cherry tomatoes on the right. So I'm going alphabetical order. Bell peppers, cherry tomatoes. I'm going to get this other seed in there. So it's 1 seed per sponge. Hopefully I don't have any problems. Then I'm going to grab 2 of these. Now this is a bell pepper mix. I don't have many in there. So I don't know what colors I'm going to get. But I will only do 2 seeds. Heck, I've only got 4 seeds. But if I get good germination and I figure out I get some interesting color or variety, I will be seed saving from this, so I will have them for future growing. So hopefully I get some interesting colors or varieties. Put that back for now. Same thing, put on a cap, put on some humidity domes, and we will just wait for germination. Now, I will be keeping an eye on the sponges because if they do start drying out before germination has happened, it's important that I dribble a little bit of water on them and make sure they stay damp. I don't want to put too much water on it because I don't want to rot the seeds, which isn't too much of a concern with the cherry tomatoes and the peppers. But obviously with cilantro, that can be a concern. But I'm going to put this one on the unit as well. No light, no water, no pump, nothing. And I will just keep an eye on it for a few days until they start germinating. Last but not least, let's get the lettuce going. The lettuce is going in a bounty. I find it's just nice to have the extra space. So I think I might do them right down the center. Look at that, I took out enough baskets. This one's, let's swap that out for more coverage. Okay, well we can move them around to another bounty after they sprout. So that's not a problem. Okay, let me see. Let's put them in groups of 2. Put 2, 2. Don't know how best to do this. 2, 2, 2. Okay, 2, 2, 2. There we go. Alright, let's do... Yeah, I'll do them in this order. It's not alphabetical, but who cares? I will drop in 2 seeds per sponge, and I will thin. I hate thinning, but boy, these are so small. They're sticking to my hand. Okay, there's that. that one back. Okay, so that's green salad bowl. Then I will do red salad bowl. And then I will try the prize head. Same thing, I'm going to put in 4 seeds. And then this one I have not opened yet, but it is prize head. Did not open very well. Well, that did not open well. Let's just take that off so it's not in the way. Okay, we got 4 seeds. These ones are white. Slightly easier to see against the dark sponge. Okay, there we go. So, again, same thing. I'm going to put humidity domes on. I'm going to cover up the extra holes. And I will just keep checking in on them. I will have to actually remember to come down and check on them because I don't currently have anything down in this room except storage. Lots and lots of jars. There was a jar sale. Oh my gosh, we just went to town and probably bought a few more than we necessarily need for the next year or so, but you know what? If we ended up with a 2-year supply, all the better. It just seems like every year I keep adding more and more jars, so kind of hoping I get a good garden run this year. Okay, these are not staying on very well, but I'm going to get them on as best I can. Okay. I will get this on the Bounty. Again, it will not be plugged in. It will not have any water in it. I am just going to leave it the way it is. I will show you how this goes, and hopefully, if it works for me, it can work for you. That would be nice, wouldn't it? But I realize everyone's conditions vary, so stay tuned. I will let you know how it goes. Found some perpetual spinach. It's also called a Swiss chard. So I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to do the same thing I just did with the other ones, although I'm probably just going to put 1 seed per pod. And I am just going to put these in with the tomatoes and peppers because I will just use the same, I'll probably put them in a farm with them. So I just wanted to let you know. I'm not going to show you the process because you've already seen it. I'm just soaking my sponges right now, and I'm going to need to get, that basket's kind of seen better days. So I'm going to get another basket just so I have better algae coverage. It has been 4 days since I put these seeds in, and as you can see, they germinated. I just put the light on them. I did find this one back here had 2 that actually sprouted. So since they were really, really small still, I was able to delicately pluck one out, so I put it in here. So these 3 are now all the same. This one has not germinated yet. So I might have one that didn't. And then this one, it's got a little bit of, I don't know if you can see the fuzzy roots in there, but it has germinated. I did come through and I just sprayed the tops of the sponges just a little bit, just to make sure they are still moist. But they were still moist, but just to make sure they were moist. And then I'll probably give them another day or 3. Sort of depends. And then I will fill up the reservoir and get it going. I will probably give them food at that point. So whatever day I want to start doing my regular feeds on is when I will probably fill it up and plug it in and get all that going. But you can see it is still unplugged. There is still no water in there. There's like a tiny bit because of when I was spraying. So I had to wet a sponge for that one. So I sprayed it into the reservoir. But that's basically it. They're still going with no water in the reservoir. Sponges are still moist. I got excellent germination. These are lettuce seeds, so they are going to germinate really fast. The peppers and tomatoes and what was the other one? Chard has not germinated yet. So we'll see. We'll see how long it takes for those. We are at about day 6, and everything has been... This is day 6. You can see I've got germination. There is still humidity in the domes, so that means the sponges are still wet. I think I had all of them germinate except this one here. It's just not, probably won't happen, but what I'm going to do is these are starting to get big enough that I want to put water in, and I will probably get them fed in the next day or 2 just so that they can continue producing, you know, growing big and strong. And at this point I will obviously plug the pump in to get that circulating as well, and it will just be, it's normal Aerogarden stuff after this, but as you can see I got humidity in the domes, I got germination, everything's been looking good so far for this is lettuce, it's been looking great. I will be checking the other seedlings to see if they have started coming up, and I will show you how those are doing. This is the cilantro, and I'm trying to shine a light in there because it gets kind of dark, but I don't know if you can see, but there is actual germination happening. The sponges are still damp, so not all of them have germinated yet, but cilantro is kind of slow. So I do have one that is showing signs of germination. What I will be doing at this point is I will be checking the sponges to see, to make sure they're still damp at least. I'll, dribble in a little water if they're drying out, and then I will just let it keep going. And over here, oh, there we go, I have some germination of, did I put the tomatoes on this side? I think I put the tomatoes on this side. And then, whoa, that is the, okay, I might have to get these out and put them, this is the perpetual spinach. They, yeah, they shot up. I'm going to stick these in with the lettuce because the lettuce already has water in it. And that will give me a chance to continue with the peppers and tomatoes without having to put water in. So the peppers and tomatoes have not germinated yet, although this tomato, this is a cherry tomato. It looks like it might be germinating, or at least trying to. And then this one looks like it's got a tiny little sprout coming off of it as well. So that is the state of these at day 6. Obviously, I should have been paying a little more attention to the perpetual spinach. That's fine. It will do fine. But like I said, same thing for the tomatoes and peppers. I will go through, I will make sure the sponges are still damp, and then I will let them keep going as is. They will probably need light. So if the tomato has started germinating, they will probably need light in a day or two as well. I might just put the light on now, honestly, because it doesn't hurt. So I will get that going. And then these ones, they are still coming along. I might put the light on them as well, just for that one that has started germinating as well. That way they don't get leggy. So that is how it has worked. The seeds still look good. They have not started molding out or anything, because that is always an issue with cilantro. It just takes a long time for them to germinate, and they seem to be a tough germinator. So having this sort of alternate method is really nice. So consider giving it a try, actually. And then let me know how it works, because I want to know that, like, I got this from Kangstar, but we can't possibly be the only people who can get this to work. So definitely give it a try and let me know. And finally, an update on the beginnings of the summer garden, which I just showed you how I put together. So all of the lettuce is doing well, except this one does not seem to have any germination in it. I'll just let it go, and we'll see what happens. There is now water in here. I think I overfilled it. Water, no food, yet. This one is the tomatoes. So they are the little cherry tomatoes. There is now water. I filled it up today, and I fed them today. Both of them appear to be doing well. This is, and it's all by itself, it's just these two. This is the perpetual spinach. It also has food and water in here. So it's my understanding that the Swiss chard, or the perpetual spinach, is a heavy feeder. So I fed it. Tomatoes. Those have historically been sort of a heavier feeder for me, so I fed them. The lettuce, I don't know if you watched my lettuce update video. I feel like if I don't feed them right away, they do better. So I'm going to hold out and wait on that. And then, coming up here, I have cilantro. So, this is the method I had used to start cilantro once before. And I felt like it worked beautifully. I don't know if you can see how many little, let's see if I can get the camera in there, but I don't know if you can see how many little plants there are in there. I think I put in like 5 seeds, 4 or 5 seeds. I feel like I got really good germination. This is like all of them. They all have a decent number that came up. So I think this is now going to be my preferred method for starting, at least starting cilantro and some of my other seeds, is to just not put water in. Soak the sponges, get them wet, but then no water until they start coming up. These sponges actually stayed wet for a long time. I did check on them, and I only just today put in the food. I think I gave them half strength food and water, literally today. So it has been a week and a half since I started the seeds. That's not bad. I did forget to plug the pump in, of course, but we are, get that plugged in, but we're good to go. So this is the start of my summer garden. This is, I'm probably going to transplant some of these things up to the farm. So these are my pepper plants. They have not germinated yet. The sponges are still damp, so I think it's really hard to see in there. I think there might be some germination, but I'm not 100% sure. So I am going to leave those. There's still no water in here, but those will go into the farm unit upstairs. And I was also thinking of soaking some soybeans and then using the same damp sponge method to get those going and seeing if I can just get a whole bunch of soy going so I have like edamame. But this is the summer garden. This is how it has started indoors. I will obviously keep you informed. You should join along with me. Try this method of starting your seeds and let me know how it works out for you, because I found it worked really well. I hope you found this video useful. I really hope you actually found this tip useful. If nothing else, I hope this tip comes in handy for starting your seeds. Let me know below if it did. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.